Everybody had a chance to look over the minutes. Well,
Move to approve is written.
November 13th.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Motion second, any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then there's the special,
There's a special.
or the executive.
Move to approve.
Second.
I'll second, your discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Had a chance to look over the claims.
You gotta get your answers. Does that work okay with the $1,800 for on tractor? Move to approve is written.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, old business.
I don't know if you want to do Mr. Fleetwater.
Yeah, let's go and get him out
He
again.
can skedaddle as soon as we do it.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Like I've got their proposals right here. Kyle, correct? So you can come on up if you want. Kyle had been stopped by Tom, or one of his men had been stopped by Tom, because we had told them to stop getting water until we got all the issues fixed. Kyle's crew never got word that he was supposed to stop. So we were just talking, him and I were, and I'm like, why don't you come to the board? They'll tell you what they want done, because I'm not the decision maker, and then they can fix it from there. So Kyle's here to figure out what they need to do so that they can get back in business with us.
Well, the first thing, Kyle, is this time of year, a water guy's sitting right there. When you put the water up in the hydrant, it freezes, is what you're telling me, Gary? We got
Well, when
problems.
you leave the caps off, it can freeze or anything can crawl down in there.
And he did get new hoses.
Got new hoses. My concern was getting it up in the hydrant and getting it to drain.
Yeah.
If it gets really cold. So what do you think of that, Gary?
Well, my advice is if it's real cold out, where you shouldn't be getting water. If it's, below freezing, not what I'm saying is like down to teens, you're taking a chance freezing in your trucks and everything else. I just don't,
We don't wash trucks if it's below 32 degrees.
okay.
Just so you know.
That's-
Load hoses, we did have a problem with load hoses, they last about 2 weeks. I was unaware that they were leaking as bad as they were, and replacing the cap on the hydrant is just, I just have to remind my guys and babysit them, so. Is there?
Something with billing?
You guys asked me about billing. He said it's 1,000-gallon tank, and Donnie's previously charged him $9 a load. And he does twice a week, so $18 a week. So that was all arranged last year, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
or the year prior. So they just automatically send me a bill. So the question, or a check, I'm sorry, I said that. The question before had been, they had those leaky hoses, all that water was getting missed. So we weren't charging them they were only getting charged for the 1,000 going in. But if they have a new hose, we should not have that issue anymore.
What do you think, Gary?
As long as it's not going, water's not going out on the ground, I'm fine. Just, and like I said, in freezing weather, I wouldn't advise getting water. 'Cause the fire department don't like doing it, open them hydrants up, so.
Would it be, okay, previously I had spoken with the gentleman that used to be in Hearst's position, and he told me to get water here where he could manage me, make sure I was out in the open. It's been a complaint with the police that we were overfilling our tank and dragging water out on the road. Would there be an option to fill up closer to our job? No.
Nope.
All right. Very good.
We can't keep track of it. Fair. And that's pretty heavy traffic area up there too.
Yeah, you need to control leaky load.
I know some places only let fill up, so. out of the system. Used to, we filled back at the waste treatment plant.
Okay.
And they still could if it's Monday through Friday, but, you know, on
Right.
weekends you can't.
You wanna try it a while and see how it works and. And we'll do
It's been a year, just so everybody's aware.
I have a year of headaches. Run into the hydrant.
Yeah.
Is the fee enough?
He said that previously, I don't know how he calculated it, but it's more than what our bulk is normally,
Okay.
so that's up to what you guys.
Let's try it again. I guess we on our conscience, I know you have to do the work for you, but you almost care.
Correct.
But we need you to, you have to convey to them
No, I do.
that it's your business,
Mhm.
and, we're not gonna be so nice the next time. Fair enough?
There's a break.
So keep it at 9, new hose, keep caps on, and so I'll be your point of contact then if there's any other
Perfect.
questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you don't have to stay for the
Thanks for
meeting.
coming.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
That's, get Greg in here now.
Yes, I have their,
Thank you, good evening. A couple of you I haven't met. My name's Greg Garataz. I didn't dress up because it's awful cold tonight.
Yes, sir.
And I was way on the other side of the city. So this is Mike Garataz. He's also with us, and he worked with Morgan a little bit this summer, and I worked with, met with you and kind of worked with you all a little bit this summer. And so you want to go through there's three different contracts. And
I can go.
we have another spare that are,
I'll email it to you, Christie.
so, and we submitted them quite a while ago.
Yes, I printed them. I didn't know you guys were coming. I just printed one copy, sorry.
And happened to work with your town attorney a little bit over at least a month or two.
Oh, gosh, way back, in Hancock County.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So,
I just sent you an email with them.
so I put them in order, Mike,
Yep.
that you went on.
I have
So,
seen.
just briefly, and then we'll just open it up for questions. But he'll just kind of
Email to you.
refer you to the first one.
So the first one is going to be the general financial consulting. So with that, that's going to mostly include the budget. So kind of like what we did last year, we're going to work with you guys on working with the budget, assist you on any type of appeals you may have, look at your 1782 with you, and then really we can provide as much assistance or as little as you guys would like. So it's up to you on how much assistance and how much help you would like, and we are able to do whatever it is that you guys need. We can also work on assisting the capital improvement plan as well. So I'm not sure where we're at with the capital improvement plan, or if we,
We always want a 5-year written document, because if you ever do any type of financing, ever want to get bond rating or anything like that, you've got to have that. That's required. We'd also like a minimum fund balance resolution. There's several things we'd like it put in place, and that would be under this, to kind of manage this like a business a little bit more. Now, if you don't want to manage it like a business, then tell me, but that's the way it best works. And so, and with Morgan, I know you're relatively new, so I know Mike helped you quite a bit
Yes.
and held your hand. And I understand, I've been doing small towns for at least a month or two again. And, we're not trying to take the clerk treasurer's job away or do what she, let her do as much as she can, but also make sure that if we're advertising the budget, we're advertising it right, we're getting a CCD, the level we want, all those type of things. And quite frankly, 2025, heads are gonna roll on property taxes, probably down at the state of Indiana. You know, I met with Representative Thompson just yesterday. He's actually in my district. I voted for him. And so I talked to him not only as a taxpayer, but as Hendricks County's financial advisor. And there's a lot going to come. Scott Baldwin's going to bring out a lot on growth quotient. And so we may be battening down our hatch, using an old term. So that's important. So any questions on this one?
And then with that also is a sustainability and spending plan. So updating the sustainability to make sure we have the new budget in there. And then as we create the new budget for 2025 and on, that we can keep that updated. And that's all going to tie into that capital improvement plan. And we can then look at funding sources for the things that we identify in the capital improvement plan with the sustainability. Identify see if there's any other sources of revenue that would, have been untapped or we haven't used.
Now, we're not your grant procurement person. You have to have a grant procurement person a lot of times.
And that's one thing, the 19th, I'm working with Brian Sheehan, working on some grants to finish up some.
Super.
So we need someone to help put us through these.
Well, and the grant will, a lot of times anymore, they're requiring a local funding.
Yes.
And that's the key. We would find the local funding or match it up with the grant based upon all your sources and uses. And that's what the sustainability helps us do.
And the grant writer we're using is Klein Peters.
Yeah. I mean, and grant writing has gotten really expensive. And, so you just don't want to write a grant for absolutely everything because it's expensive. I mean, Town of Warren's gotten charged 60 grand. And, that's far in excess of what even we charge. And you gotta keep an eye on that.
And then there's also provision in there for general consulting services. So working on pilot, getting that added in there. Anything else that could come up? See, I had something else. But yeah, so anything else we need to do over the year, working on the budget, getting all that corrected, was that all?
Yes.
Yeah, so if anything like that comes up, then we just have that line in there to account for that.
So questions on this?
No, but I liked working with him, so
Okay.
if Brian agrees with all whatever's on the contract.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I can get to it real quick.
Okay.
Did anybody send it to me?
No, I just brought it tonight, that was my fault.
And you can approve it on the next meeting.
I can
We have a
send
meeting
this-
next week on
So,
the
yeah,
Well,
18th.
whatever you want to do. We're not
Greg's
pressuring you.
reputation is stellar, and as he said, he works with numerous governmental entities, and I have interfaced with him in Hancock County on the economic development agreements and.
You've got 3 plans. That's
So,
what you got. Is that-
Three different contracts? Yes.
So the next one,
So the second one is proposal for the annual financial report. So the DLGF puts together the AFR, annual financial review. So that it basically shows what our budget's going to be planned out on what amount of taxes we can bring in for the next budget year. So we have a 1782 comparison that we put together with you guys. And we do a double check on that to make sure everything is correct.
and this is what the clerk actually
Yeah, I have to do
files.
that, yes.
Yeah, and
It's a
if,
lot.
if it's not filed and timely, and if it's not filed correct, they are holding back your property taxes.
Right.
Okay, so can I say it any more blunt than it's gotta be right?
And I did it last year, and Baker Tilly came down and helped me.
Yeah. How's your capital assets?
That was one thing we couldn't find with, I don't know how he kept it prior.
Okay.
Like if it was, because he didn't use Keystone to keep
Okay,
that.
because that may be something you're gonna have to, and we don't do the capital asset study, but there are people that are experts in that, and, that just do that. And you may have to do that in order to keep your AFR up to date.
And we discussed that, I think,
Yeah.
middle of this last year, like, we need to do that
Yeah, because they'll go out and search the records and whatever, so it sounds like you're deficient on that.
Yes.
And there are people that do it for a very reasonable cost, and, it's a little higher at the front end, but that's all they do, and that's what you want.
We do do that.
In the past, well, on the water and wastewater, we used Westler Engineering to do that. But I think what you're talking about is everything the town owns,
Buildings,
everything.
roads, yeah.
And there is a program, but it's not been used on the software, so Baker Tilly and I did not know how it was kept.
Seems like they would have done that during the audit, would have asked for that.
The audit won't do it for you.
No, we're gonna look for that. So are we?
That's why I don't know if he has a
We
binder, if he handwritten.
I think in actuality, we've done an audit for the water, wastewater companies, and that was for the state of Indiana, IDM.
Oh, yeah.
We had to do that for.
Totally up on that. Yeah, we deal with that all the time.
But we didn't do the other buildings and all the stuff. That was just a waiver, since that was two companies.
Yeah, and that's what the annual financial report needs to have in it, and they will start coming down on, they're starting to come down on people that don't have it.
Right.
So, you'll get written up.
And then, any more questions on that then?
So the final is the TIP annual reports.
Yep, TIF annual reports, and so there is one report that we are preparing. So that's the one that's due by April 1st. So we'll analyze the revenues claimed by the town, input the assessed values, update the revenue for the project, and calculate the adjusted base net assessed value for the TIF district. So we'll do all that for you. We'll prepare a report on the district. And after that, then the report is due on the 15th. We also have one on June 14th. Have one on August 1st, so we can help keep you guys aware of those deadlines and what's required for those
Or,
reports.
what we like to do is that first report is the mandated report that has to be uploaded. And we would do it, and you would pin it, Morgan, and upload it. And you're also required to have an annual financial meeting where you invite the underlying taxing districts, township and that, and come, understand where the TIF district is. We like to combine those in the same meeting. You're also required now to have, and I'm assuming you did it for 2020.
Our annual financial spending plan.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Okay, good. And so.
Completed and submitted.
Yeah, and so that's what we don't recommend doing that in April. We recommend doing that later in the year, which, it has to be done by, I think, December 1st.
Yeah.
And so we think you ought to do that around the budget time or right after the budget. And so, and we believe that, John, that probably, did you do like a one pager?
Yep.
Yeah, and we believe DLGF will get all the one-pagers, they'll figure out they want 15 pages, and they'll come back and revise their form and make it harder.
Yeah, probably so. There were several meetings that it was discussed thoroughly, and then ultimately, we used some resources provided by Tom Pittman and some.
Gotcha, yeah.
I had, so.
Yeah. And then the July 15th, what we usually do is in April, again, we make a finding in our report that you have no excess assessed value, or if you do, we make that finding, but most of the time, no excess because the capital projects far outweigh the cash flow. And so we try and combine that, as much as we can. So that's it. Any questions?
I have now reviewed these contracts, and I have no questions or qualms given their form.
Make a motion, we go forward.
Well, we have to do this, guys, if we're gonna continue these grants and all this stuff.
Motion second.
Motion second, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Well, thank you very much. We're excited about it. I'm excited. I like to put my clients on path and, using a race car analogy, and get that green light and go. And so, as soon as you get the books and records for January 1 or 12/31 closed, after January 1, then we'll start working on the AFR and start going. But we really want you to give, the goal is by April 1, we want that 5-year capital improvement plan together. So we want to know the item And the estimated dollar amount, and I don't know, I don't care if you have to go to Joe Blow's Hardware and get an estimated amount. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but get an estimated amount so we can get it on the 5-year capital improvement plan. And this would be non-water and wastewater, okay? So anything else, a major roof or things like that, because I think it was your rainy day fund, if I recall, wasn't very strong. And, you know, I like to use the example of when the community gets hit by a tornado, and unfortunately I had several of those, and you have to have a rainy day fund with an emergency line item in there. You might have to put the roof back on this building. That's what we do with Hancock County Public Library and a lot of different. You gotta have an emergency appropriation that you can go to if something happens. So,
We talked earlier, we had way too much money in building much more than would be ever needed, and that needs to be.
we're gonna right size it, and if you don't mind, I'd like to have you guys and the department heads in here, and we take a half a day and we right size the budget.
Right.
And so if it's, you know, if it's 6 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night, we just get together and we right size the budget together. Because we gotta have the teams, you know, I'm big in teams, we gotta have the team approach to it.
Right.
And that's what I mean, so,
Great.
okay, well, thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
step down off the soapbox. Don't get me going.
Did we vote on this?
Yes. That's why I said thank you, and we're ready to go. So,
Showing your age.
All in favor?
if you don't need us, we'll sneak out that door more quietly than we came in.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, under old business, I got, Charles has a check for Morgan.
Yes.
The contract signed with the fire department. Did you tell him just drop it off in the?
Yes,
That contract is just for 2024, right?
Fourth.
yes.
And then, the 10, next year will be at 50. But the 10 will go to the fire department for some needs, that Q fund. But then next year we'll set up for 50, or I told him maybe more, I don't know yet. So, that'll be something we have to discuss, what we're gonna do with that, because, you know, we haven't looked at this in years, it might be actually need to be more. So, and he's willing to discuss that, so. That's done. This is kind of old business, new business. I talked to Jane Thurston, and they have more families than they've ever had that need help at Christmas. In the past, we done it through the Methodist Church, but they can do it through the school with Jane, is that right?
Yeah, American Legion Auxiliary helps with the food pantry at the school. And we usually help 15 families every month, but you can also ask for holiday help. And there's like 30 families that have asked for holiday help.
But they're in dire need this year.
Our food pantry is really low too.
And we have put in the food pantry before. But they really need help, because they got, I think they picked something with a ham in it.
They do like a whole box, like a Christmas box dinner, so you can have potatoes, ham, a couple different vegetables. I'm trying to think what else they had in there. It's quite a bit.
Is this separate from Lingers?
Yes.
Yes.
This is just our kids at school that they're servicing, their families.
Oh, for school.
It's through,
Okay.
they come into the school, they have their separate room in there, and they've set it up as like it's like a store. if you
They're
will.
trying not to turn people off.
Yeah.
Something the town ought to be doing, something. What do we need to?
What's a good price?
I don't know how much a
I told her,
Christmas dinner is for what.
Okay,
a
so
box
it's
is.
we're only doing 15 families, that's it?
They do 15 a month
A month?
typically. For Christmas, they're gonna feed 30.
because used to we do like $1,000.
I mean, whatever you guys think
We got
is.
it before.
Don't go very far.
Well, that ain't gonna go very far.
I don't know.
Why don't we double down on that?
So what do you want to do there?
I'd say bump up at least $2,500, because food costs
I'll
are.
second that.
Sound all right?
Christie, chime in there. I mean, what food costs have done this past year, the last 2 years.
So 2,500.
I'd say $2,500, if we've got the funds available and we can be appropriated in the right way.
Yes.
I would not be opposed to
And
helping
then
as
they can
many
use
people as we
it for
can.
Christmas and to stock the food pantry. They also buy hygiene items, like that kind of stuff, that there's a lot that use it.
Diapers.
And it comes, and it's just families that
And
are
it's just for our
associated
school.
with Morristown, yes.
So Larry's got a motion.
I got a motion.
Ralph's got a second.
$2,500.
Any other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I can't remember reading my writing. You go ahead. You know, old business.
Dave, we've got about $23,000 left in the fund for the Craney building. I say we need to get started on that. We gotta have the door closures put on. Then we get our guys to tear the walls out, and I'm gonna get a price from Core Brothers and another one.
Okay.
Maybe do this in phases, like put the walls up, then do the plumbing, electrical, and that kind of stuff, so. Yeah, that's all right with everybody.
Yeah.
Got a motion,
You call a motion, I'll second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Ralph's got another thing that I'm interested in. We kind of let our furnaces go the last few years and air conditioners, and they got a rate that we can, just like a service rate for all 10 furnaces. I think we have 10. Is that right?
10 or 12, I don't know.
It was a really good price to come out, check them out every year. And we had the first furnace down in a big meeting, and I remember what it was, like $180 per year or something.
That's 188.
Is that what it is?
That's for the air conditioner and the furnace check.
That's both.
What is it
188.
for each one? $1,800.
Yeah.
Move to approve.
Okay.
It's not good.
Christie second, all in favor?
Aye.
Mixing.
He abstains.
I might say,
Okay. I don't have to read anything else, I don't think.
I handed all of you guys the salary ordinance.
Yeah.
I don't know how you normally go through this or what they do.
Okay, everybody has a chance to look at it, we gotta sign it. Vote on it, pass it, sign it.
It does have the insurance changed to the 30% instead of the 20, how it was previously. It does have the fire chief on here and the full-time fireman.
Okay.
Do you like announce with the table?
Move to approve.
Move to approve.
I got a question first. She's got the fireman on here, which is like we're doing now. That comes out of fire board, that shouldn't be on this, right?
It was on the last one.
Don put it on here,
Yeah.
so,
It was
yeah.
on the last.
No one puts it on.
I just, this is exactly how he had it. That's the only reason it's on there.
Yeah, because we can't afford it.
Yeah.
But it comes in different buckets.
Right, it's got it.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'll tell you what, I'll send this one around.
Deal.
Okay.
And,
I was gonna just send this one down your way.
And then the last thing I got in the mail, it was from the Southeastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. Board of Directors, it says Larry is our current appointment to our board is Larry Tracy.
We're not,
SIRPC?
yeah, if we're not changing it, I don't need to do anything, I'm just making sure.
I just can't get to the meetings.
I just didn't know what you guys,
It's all right just to keep it intact.
Keep it intact.
okay, just making sure. You didn't-
Anything else, Morgan?
Kind of like the really forgotten child on that out this far. This is mostly, SARPC, mostly relegated to the southeastern part of the state.
Around Milan
In part of South Switzerland, I mean, they go in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Switzerland, Vernon, God, all of the little burgs to the south and east of us. Russell was not even really involved with that too, south.
and, yeah. Kind of just there.
Yeah, and somehow Shelby County is just kind of like the tip, you know, like it touches, and okay, you're in. Yeah, and then where's the brother at?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm lying, one more thing. Brian, can you send me what I need to publish?
I have the form with me.
I've got one more thing too. Elaine, I don't know if you guys went and looked at her forward. Looks really nice. Tell us what you think, Elaine, and what we're trying to, what you're thinking.
We'd like to go ahead and just finish up the whole building, just so everything matches before the way stuff just continues. If we wait a year,
Yeah.
we might not be able to get the same exact stuff, so. we
And it
might
looks
just
really
get-
good.
Yeah, and it's gonna be so much easier to take care of.
Hides all the dirt.
I mean, that's a long-term capital asset there
Yeah.
itself, on a long-term investment on a capital asset. Moving to do it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Morgan, you and Elaine will take care of that.
Got it.
Is there anything else we need to do in there? I mean, just flooring,
Is that it, Elaine?
paint?
I think we were talking about painting eventually.
Paint.
Yes, that we can figure out next year maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, but we're gonna put this on the budget we still have right now.
Okay.
So we can think about a color and do all that kind of
Is
stuff
that rental
next
away
year.
your office and too?
Yes, we'll do the whole.
That'll be the whole
When we
building.
were talking to the floor guys, they were like, you better order it, because you never know how long it's gonna be in there.
Right.
I agree.
So, it looks good.
All right.
Kind of the mixed bag of miscellaneous. I worked on several things. Morgan and I have gone back and forth on a few things. Special meeting coming up, preparing for that. And I ought to double back and talk to you on a couple of odds and ends, but
Okay. Right. Morgan and Elaine, since got you the second time, are planning a Christmas event.
Lunch.
The employee luncheon,
What are you doing? Elaine?
not an event.
Lunch. Neither one of us are
Please.
cooking.
Please.
And we're not providing entertainment.
that's what
Well, we do have balloons
Yeah.
each year, so.
We're letting the guys decide if they wanna go somewhere for lunch.
And it's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Kind of everybody's kind of in agreement to go into Montana Mike's. Because they've got like a nice little room that sits off to the side. And doing something like that, if that's agreeable with you guys.
Would you like to join us?
Yes, and then if you would, I need to know like tomorrow. So,
What date are you doing this?
The 20th,
the 20th.
like lunch.
What time?
11:30?
11:30.
I'll be there and speak.
I'll bring you a roll
We'll
bag.
FaceTime you.
Yeah.
I got next.
No, we'll get a cutout. We'll get a crispy cutout.
It's on a Friday.
It's on a Friday.
Friday.
So-
I'll be there.
You'll go?
I'll go.
I'll go.
Cool.
Yeah, free steak dinner.
I'll
Brian?
get Tammy and.
Would you like to join us? for
thank
lunch?
you for the invitation, but, my calendar is,
Like mine.
Chris just sent a voicemail.
We'll take your picture.
No, we're gonna do a Christie cutout. So
We'll bring that. You gotta be careful on those. We went to a friend's house over in Ohio, or no, in Illinois, I mean, and we get there and they've got these huge blow up, they're not blow up heads, they're just blowing up pictures of heads on the bed. My face and her face from previous year. Oh. That's what you should do. Missing partners.
Okay, Brad.
Apologize for my appearance, but I've been at the academy the last 2 days. Yesterday, we ran from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. nonstop, and then today we went from 7 a.m. to, I finally left at 5. So, it's been some long days. We had no heat, no electricity yesterday all day. Fun time. Yes, I did. First off, since we have mandatory holidays that we work, if we are scheduled for that day, we have 2 mandatory holidays that we work. One of them is the 4th of July, the second one is New Year's Eve. I was wondering, since those are mandatory holidays, could we be paid holiday pay on those days? Because right now, we just get paid straight time on those.
So you want to work and get holiday pay, and instead of taking an additional day, another day off.
However, if we want to do additional day off, or we want to do holiday pay, usually what we do is if it falls on a day to work, and we take an additional day off that week, so we have 2 days off that week, and the holiday. Essentially, we just change our days off around to make sure that it's covered. Is how it works.
Is everybody working? Everybody else gets paid for holiday.
Well, we don't work, we get paid
So
just
you're gonna-
straight, but they're saying instead of paying just the straight, since they have to actually work on the holiday, they'll get paid
You get
double.
the benefit of working.
Right.
I agree with that.
So, the motion.
Got a motion to pay them holiday pay if they work the holiday.
July 4th or December 31st.
That's the
Those only 2 days.
The 2 mandatory.
Okay.
Because the other one's Halloween, which we're just out anyway, and then Derby days, which we get
Okay.
overtime on Derby days.
Those are the only 2 days.
That's second.
Yep.
The next thing, a day off request
All in
policy.
favor?
Aye. Sorry. I thought we voted, sorry. Day off request policy clarification in the manual. What I did is for our new SOPs, I took the current employee manual, copied and pasted it into the new SOPs. A question came up is that our form that we send in to be approved by the town board members has vacation, personal, sick, vacation and personal are both on there that have to be approved for time off by a supervisor. When you read the policy, it says vacation days must be approved, but personal days are just kind of floating out there. It really doesn't say if they need to be approved. They just always have been in the past. They had to be approved by a supervisor. So do we want to change that to where they need to be approved also, or?
I think you need to know.
I think somebody needs to know.
Yeah, I think that was like if you were gonna take a half a day off to go get a test run or something, and you knew in advance, and you were gonna use personal time. I mean,
If you wake up in the morning and have a flat tire, you're not gonna get approved.
Right.
You have
I
a
mean,
sick kid.
if-
There's a
If you
difference.
wake up and you're sick, I mean, yeah, you can use personal time, you don't.
Larry, why do you look so confused?
It's gonna be denied. You wake up and say, I'm sick, you call, and they say, no, you need to still come to work.
Get in here and do funny stuff. I think I'll move that. We got 3 personal days.
But if you, let's say, what if you call in on a personal day, like, do you get a mark, like
Well, if
a strike
if it's
or a
available,
point or a?
You're given, what, 3?
5.
Oh, nice.
Because they took our sick days and made them personal days.
Yes.
Okay. I think.
Or just put it all into one bucket of these are your hours, and it's,
I think you're gonna be off, somebody needs to know. If there's an emergency, they're gonna be off it,
Yeah.
you know.
Somebody's got to know.
You know, the liaison.
I mean, you
know,
let somebody know anyway.
Henry always called
Yeah.
Me, always. Just to let me know.
So otherwise, what's it say? You don't have to?
No, it doesn't say anything on personal, it just says it's allotted the hours on personal, it doesn't say they have to be approved, it doesn't say.
I don't think you have to be approved for personal time, I mean.
I think it says you gotta call in 24 hours in advance unless it's an emergency. It says
I would be fine with that.
Personal,
what it is.
personal leave of 40 hours per calendar year will be granted to full-time employees or personal business, except in case of emergency. Such leave must be requested 24 hours in advance. New hires are eligible for personal days upon completion of 6 months. Personal days are used in 1-hour increments. Personal days will not occur from year to year. Employees will not be paid for unused personal days at the time of termination. Employees who are off for 5 days or 5 or more consecutive days due to illness or injury must provide doctor's statement for return. And that's all it says.
That's pretty normal.
So to take a personal day, do we need to have it approved prior to
It's not
taking
approved,
it?
just notify the 24 hour thing, you know. Would be fine. I mean, leave it as is.
Okay. I was contacted by a company in reference to archiving of our social media and website. This is important, something the attorney would definitely know about. It's a software that's used by Shelbyville, Greenfield, Cumberland, Fortville, McCordsville, Ingalls, Pendleton, and Bargersville, so it's definitely a company that's being used locally. But essentially what it does is they keep track of our social media. If somebody comes on there and makes a post and then deletes it, we can still pull that back up. So it's a constant backup that's constantly going. How it works right now is if we get a Freedom of Information Act request, we go into Facebook, we rely on their software to pull that data and we send it to them. The issue can be is that the Facebook, for instance, doesn't always keep the deleted comments. That's up to them if they keep those or not. This software actually keeps those. If you have somebody make a threat and then go, "Ooh, shouldn't have done that," and they delete it, this is still there. It still makes an archive. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We don't have to do anything with it. It's automated. It's constantly doing it itself.
Cost.
The cost right now, if regularly is $4672.20 a year. It's $1,000 sign-on, and it's a one-time fee. But amazingly, they have a 50% off sale until 12/13, and it's the standard's $2,336.10 a year.
Was there, and the renewal will be 46.
As of right now, but that doesn't mean in December next year when we renew, there'll be another sell or a.
So it's year to year.
Yeah, it's year to year.
What's it called, Fred?
I
Is it something we need?
forgot to write down
I'm
the
not
name.
posting nothing.
Archiving a social media website. I have to dig up the actual name of it.
Are we? You can't get away with it now. What kind of traffic are we getting?
Most of now, as far as our website, there's no real commenting on the website. What we do have is like anonymous, you can make an anonymous complaint to the website and that goes to whatever organization lead that would be. So there's not anything that really would happen on there. On our social media though, like we make a post, let's say it's a town-related post as far as something to do with the town board or.
That town board meeting.
Yeah, town board meeting tonight, or we put a topic on there, someone could get on there and, post on that as an open comment.
I don't think we need, well, I can't see the expense at this point in time. I'd like to table that for now. It's okay. Anybody?
Okay.
Table that for now.
Okay. We were talking about the expansion of the Craney building. We've been talking about also internet, trying to get it over towards the park. I did look into the only company I can find that does wireless access control cameras for those type of setups, since we don't have reliable internet over there. And the quote they gave me right now for both the park and the Craney building is $60,000.
Whoa.
So, and just for information, $10,000 of that is just internet access.
What?
Because it has to be over cellular. Since there's no reliable internet over that direction.
Start putting in from there.
So,
You just run wire.
so yeah, what we've been talking about is looking at options of installing 9-star down that route, which was the $35,000 that they quoted us last year with an amazing grant of $17,000 they could drop it to get internet down Morrison, which that would give the residents and the park and the water treatment plant internet. Our second option would be to have 9-star install internet to the water tower in the industrial park and then shoot it wireless to the water treatment plant and the park, but then that leaves all the residents out on Morrison not receiving internet, because that would be a dedicated line just for, well, that'd be a wireless, just like I do currently from the treatment plant to the wastewater treatment plant. I shoot that internet wireless right now to get over there. 9-star is already in the industrial park, so what we do is the tap fee and bring it into the building, and then I have to have somebody climb the tower to put the antenna up there to get it to the other 2 buildings.
Brad's an IT guy.
Yeah, I don't climb towers, but,
Oh, we originally set up with 9-star, they were gonna run it to every residence, I remember setting it in.
yes, and we have Hanover Drive that is not done. We have the North Street east of essentially the trailer park, east of Jackson is not ran, and High Street is not ran. That's the 3 streets in town that are not been completed.
Is that something we need to look at that money for? I mean, you know, they're doing the county thing, and that's going, I don't know what.
We're setting right now, we're waiting on the federal grants on that. It's still not looking very promising as far as the way they're going to distribute that money, because it's essentially going to what the federal government sees as a need, not what the locals see as a need, and they're using multiple points of data to come up with that. So essentially they're looking at, oh, you have cellular data, well then you don't need fiber because you have access to the internet.
So if we do the 9-star gig,
That's it.
we do the 9-star gig for the internet, you're saying on a wireless mode, other people can't sign up for it.
Right, it would be dedicated between
Just
town
dedicated
town
to
buildings
town.
only. Yep.
If we run it down the road, would you get to the one water plant,
The park.
but then we still gotta get the other one on top of the hill?
We would have to, but that would be a single tap, a single line into that water tower is what we would do. They just do a landline or fiber line into the water tower up in the industrial park. And then Morrison, you would be able to hit the park, the water plant, the Craney building, all the residents that are on Davis Lane. You know, you'd have that fiber.
If we come down Morrison.
If we come down Morrison, because we can't get on the railroad tracks.
Why did they not do what they promised?
Well, originally they claimed that there was not a line on 1100 North. Originally, but now there is a line there.
Not a coal line, in other words?
It's a fiber line that's underground.
Okay.
It was there the whole time. They just,
Brad, do you know, Mike Burst?
I do.
Would you be willing to talk to him and find out
I
what we
would.
can do?
I would.
Since he said 9-star?
Saw Mr. Burrow yesterday, as a matter of fact, but yes. Somebody shoot me an email so I know the street names, and I'll follow up with them. And David Spencer would be another one within the organization.
So originally, the town put was $250,000 into this 9-star when they started. We were told that every house would be hooked up within so long.
Do we have a contract on that?
Somewhere.
Yeah, there's one sometime.
Well,
2004,
if you can
2005.
give me a little bit of background, I will be happy to take it up. I understand what your concern is, and I can do it right away.
That's a couple days ago. Yeah.
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 I would say 2004.
2004 or 5.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Decades ago.
Well, I mean, if you think you had a contract, they've got a copy too. I never like to start asking for a contract counterparty. But I mean,
I think he signed one.
and this clear back 2004, you think, so
Yeah.
20 years ago. I
That's when they
mean,
was trying to raise money.
I have no problem, and the town did pay to Nine Star $250,000. Take that out, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the original bore route was down the alley one north to Asbury and then west on 52 was the original.
I'll just start with a phone call.
Okay. That'd be great.
Flock cameras, NDOT finally approved our permits for our flock cameras on US 52. So they should be out either this week or next to get those installed. I think it was 6 months that it took them to sign off on those permits. 12/18 at 8:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. we have a special meeting, and we're going to have a special or safety meeting, and then we have a special town board meeting at 7:30 after that on the 18th. And then our November stats, we had 94 calls in Morristown. 43 of those were taken by us. 51 were taken by the sheriff's department. We had 12 citations and warnings. Let's see here, we had 512 patrol miles by myself and 716 patrol miles by Tom. Do I have any other questions?
Thank you.
All right.
I don't know if anything on the water or wastewater, you guys? Everything's just wonderful. All right.
Have we had any more dealings with Park 100 on the grease trap issue?
Yeah, they rebuilt their grease trap, and the new company that owns them has come in there, and they're doing quite a lot of work.
Ken, nice to meet those guys and see if there's anything we can establish as a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Possible.
They're from Wisconsin, aren't they? I think that's what they call them.
And then Bungie had that spill here a while back, right?
Yeah, it's taken care of.
Well taken care of.
They always take care of it right away.
Okay.
What'd you say, Gary?
I was gonna ask Brad, is there any way he can put a camera right here on this corner of the building, shooting towards that fire hydrant?
I don't know.
I've already got the line there.
He's on it.
The line's already there, it's got the camera.
That'll work.
I'll wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
So far, we haven't any snow to melt anything, so.
We haven't been out there, we haven't seen it yet, maybe tonight.
Instead of it being dusting.
I still see black on the parking lot.
There you go.
Wind blows away.
Okay. Fire department, we kind of took that, care of that. Park, I don't know about the park, you kind of took care of the training building. Revitalization, don't know where I'm at with that right now.
No, we're still working on it.
Miscellaneous.
Yep.
So, I don't know if you guys saw social media. I'm not part of Morristown Matters, wife is, and asked permission before I brought it up. But we did not have the Christmas tree lighting this year because the building had already been booked. Is there any way the town can block the first Sunday so we can have the
They would
Christmas?
ask.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, they never asked if we're
They never
asked, then we
asked.
can.
So, but, that way we can have it. I mean, a lot of people couldn't believe that, it was booked, but.
Well, the way that it was worded on the page, it made it sound like the town was,
That's why I just wanna,
yes, it wasn't worded very nicely. You kind of read into it as it's the town's fault that we didn't have it.
so I didn't know if there's a way to black out the
Oh,
first
no,
Sunday of the month.
all they have to do is call
Okay,
and suggest,
So-
hey, can we do this?
because it's always been the first Sunday of the month.
Right.
They assumed they were complacent. I get it. But I just wanna bring it to attention because a lot of kids and they get to see Santa close and, it's not a big tree, but it's a good thing for the town, so.
No, agree,
Yeah.
agree.
Sure. Sounds good.
Anything going on with the building here and the repair? Or have I missed that?
No, ain't got to it yet.
Haven't got to it yet. Is it still being differed over?
No, it's just getting to it.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna get anything back from Louise?
Probably not, since we're over the warranty, but we can write a letter.
He won't come out and fix it, so. Hey, Dave, do we need to say anything about that truck back here in this meeting?
Whose truck's
We
that?
never approved that box truck.
Yeah, We had some discussion about, the township has a box truck back here they don't use. We could really use a waste treatment plant. So you guys wanna pursue that truck with Charles and?
I think it'd be a good buy, because it sounds like you guys could use it, and you would have a place for specific equipment that goes into it, from what I understand.
Yeah, it'd be great to.
You could rig it.
With parts and stuff for like major water leak. That one night I had to get Greenfield, they come out with their trailer to fix the water leak.
Right. I'll make a motion, we go after it, see what they want for it.
That's all right, everybody?
As long as you buy it next year.
Next year,
Next year.
okay, after January.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have long to wait.
No,
That's
I'm
right.
like, I'm not writing that check till January.
Okay. Anything else? Brad?
232 North Poplar, which is Anderson's. We've done a couple mowed there a couple times, billed them. The health department was out on Friday and cleaned the property up.
I think that got bought at a tax sale.
Somebody was out there yesterday too.
Okay, they came, cleaned it up, the health department did. There is a dangerous tree on the
It's down.
northeast corner. Okay.
It's down.
All right, good.
It's,
Oh, yeah, because the health department was we weren't gonna have to put that, they're gonna try to get the health department.
yeah, I drove by there today, and it's down, but somebody got it from a sheriff's sale because it's not in, I don't think it's in his name, or his other's name anymore.
I think I got on a tax sale.
So, yeah.
Did we file when we mowed it this summer on?
Never got paid. He never paid it.
So it's on the tax.
So it should go on the tax.
There was no lien. I had emailed Brian.
If
see
it
if we could
went
get a lien
to
on
a
it.
tax sale, the sheriff's deed cuts off any and all liens. If you had a lien attached prior, there's a statute that your utility lien will survive.
But that wasn't a utility, that was a mowing grass. The
Pardon me?
mowing grass one wouldn't be considered a utility one. And the question also came, that I had asked Brian, it wasn't in his name, it was in his deceased mother's name.
Oh, you're talking about that house? I never bought that.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was like $200 and we found out like 3 days later it was
We
out.
didn't have much time for her to try to get
Uh-uh.
to,
Cause
I'm on
never
video.
done it.
we looked it up randomly one day to see whose name it was in and like 2 days later it was a year.
Is his
And after you
brother
buy-
still alive?
No.
No, she's been gone for a while.
And after you buy it on a tax sale, you have a year from the day you buy it, and by the time we realized it was it was purchased, it was like 3 days. There was nobody came in and told, like, he
Many
didn't even
people
tell
who
us.
buy property at tax sale don't want the property.
They want the 10%.
The interest is excellent, and there's a 1-year redemption period, and so they're sort of betting that the owner
So he's
will
gonna come back for
wake
it.
up and
And they
redeem.
did.
Now, based upon what you told me, this was grass cutting, that you didn't formally perfect any kind of lien. My preliminary opinion, absent additional research, is you are, yes, thank you, out of luck.
Slow and learning.
But, I mean, yeah, in the future, when you do that, bill them 30 days not paid,
It was like a very quick,
we'll move to the,
Because when we figured out that it got purchased in a sale, and then looked when it was like 3 days. One of the days falling on, I think, a Friday.
That's what we decided trade.
Yeah, so, I mean,
it was just, I mean, he didn't come in and was like, hey, I
didn't have,
lost my property, we didn't know.
well, but at least you got a new owner. That if problems arise
we'll see how
again.
that goes next.
See if they got some next, whatever.
At least it got mowed.
Yeah.
The tree's down.
Trees don't. Good. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Good.